Live from the PCTV studios, the Monday Morning Quarterback. Your host, Dave Ridenauer.
Hey, good evening, everyone, and welcome to yet another edition of the Vlahos Dunn Insurance Monday Morning Quarterback Show. I'm Dave Ridenauer, the Monday Morning Quarterback, and we think we have another great show planned for you this evening. As per normal, we bring in Coach Mick, Jim Mick, former St. Pius football coach, and he and I break down all last week's Pioneer Athletic Conference action. And then, of course, we will look forward to this weekend coming up as well. So sit back and relax and enjoy another chapter of the Monday Morning Quarterback right here on the PCTV Network Sports Station. Sit back and relax, and we'll be right back after these words with Coach Mick looking at last week's action.
Stay tuned for more Monday Morning Quarterback right after this.
At Vlahos Dunn Insurance, we understand what moves people in business and in life, and we use this knowledge to better serve our clients. And we bring the same work ethic and commitment to our business as our customers do theirs. Vlahos Dunn Insurance, providing quality coverage to the Tri-County area since 1994. So call our knowledgeable staff.
Hi, I'm Jim Vlahos of Vlahos Dunn Insurance, and we're in your community.
So you're officially married. Congrats! It's time to combine things. Your last names, your toothbrush holders, and your health insurance. When you combine policies, you can save and live happily ever after financially. Use the red key for more money-saving tips. Find yourself impulse buying uncontrollably? Here's a tip from Ben Franklin. Carry me in your wallet. Big bills are harder to give up. The next time you're tempted to impulse buy, you might not want to break a Benjamin. Use the red key and save.
Back here on the Vlahos Dunn Insurance Monday Morning Quarterback, Dave Ridenauer, again joined by Coach Jim Mick, former St. Pius longtime football coach. And Coach, week number 2 in the books now in the Pioneer Athletic Conference divisional play. Again, remember, for those people just joining in, they started 2 weeks ago with the divisional play with the Liberty Division, the larger schools playing one another, and then the Frontier Division, which are the smaller schools playing one another as well. And again, it's a pretty neat week, but you know, with only 5 games on your schedule now, no room for error, that's for sure.
Dave, these Mondays come around pretty quick, and that just says one thing to us: we must be having a good time.
Yeah,
when the Mondays
certainly
come
are.
around so often.
All right. Well, as normal, let's look at our top 5 before we get rolling here, Coach. And again, we want to thank the Reinhardt boys, Ronnie and Keith Reinhardt. They've been following their father's Deacon Reinhardt, who was a heck of a football player and a Hall of Famer in his own right in Pottstown way back in the day. They started in the mid-40s, the painting business. Obviously, Ronnie and Keith have taken on after father has passed away and moved on. But they do a great job in the area. Give them a holler for inside or outside, and they also do some paper hanging as well. Well, let's look at that top 5. Number 1 team has been up there since the beginning of the season. Pottsgrove at 6-0 with another big win. Perk Valley hanging in that 2 slot at 5-1. Pope John Paul, best record in school history to start off the season. Springford, who seems to be rounding into shape here at the middle of the season. And Upper Perk with a big win fills out our 5th spot in our Reinhardt Paint top 5 schools. Jim?
Well, I think that's going to change in the next couple of weeks, because if you notice that list They're all going to start playing each other in the next couple of weeks, so there could be some changes.
Well, that's what makes it interesting and a lot of fun. I know the coaches in both divisions are looking forward to that divisional play. All right, let's start out with the Frontier Division first this week, Coach. And Pottsgrove and Pottstown had a big game, that old backyard rivalry that used to be a very, very competitive game. Both teams have had their streaks and stretches where they sort of won most of the games. But Pottsgrove has really done a good job in the past few years. And you can see with a big win at Pottstown, 49-6.
Well, do you want me to do all the talking on this segment right here? Because
can.
I know you're I know you're upset with your alma mater.
I am upset with my alma mater.
No matter when they get beat, you're a loyal alumnus, and I know you get upset when they lose. And Pottsgrove had the game in hand very early. Actually, it took them 3 plays from the opening kickoff to score a touchdown, and from then on it was all Grove the entire night. And from what Coach Fisher said, good game plan by Pottstown. We wanted to come out and try to run the ball and keep the ball away from Pottsgrove, but no success. But the thing that stuck out to me was, even though they didn't have much success running the football, 22 attempts, only 23 yards, they had 5 turnovers. You can't do it. We talk about that all the time. You can't do anything when you got 5 turnovers.
Well, ball security is certainly something that I know we talk about, and you used to preach a lot. I was fortunate enough to coach for a year under you, Jim, when I was student teaching, and learned a lot about football and practice schedules and all kinds of things. But one of the things I know that was a big bugaboo for yours is certainly turnovers and ball security. 3 fumbles and 2 interceptions, particularly when you're playing a team on paper that appears to be much better than you. That's certainly a recipe for disaster.
Well, when you're playing somebody, I know, somebody that supposedly is better than you and on paper looks better than you, the one thing you got to try to do is control the ball and keep the clock moving and hopefully move the chains. When you don't do that, you have no shot whatsoever.
Well, Pottsgrove jumped out, was 35-0 at halftime, which is not a good recipe. And of course, I don't know what more we can say about Rasul Faison, but he had nearly 300 yards again, 6 touchdowns. I mean, he's up over 1,300 yards for the year already, 17 touchdowns, nearly averaging 10 yards a carry. He is certainly doing everything he can in his senior year to lead the Falcons to another championship.
Well, right now, we don't want to talk about individuals. We don't like to talk about that in a team sport, but right now he's the player of the year in the Pac-10, both divisions. I mean, 6 touchdowns. The only thing that Upper Perk and PJP, who still have to play him in the Frontier Division, maybe his legs will get a little tired. He's run the ball so much and has so much yardage.
Well, and I think one of the things, Coach, to sort of counter that a little bit is that he hasn't played deep into ball games because, they've had such a big lead. So, he plays into the 3rd quarter. I know Rick would like to get his guys some more work because he knows down the line against the Upper Perks and the Pope John Pauls and then maybe eventually into the playoffs, they're going to need those guys to go 4 quarters. So I'm sure he's a little bit upset about the fact that not that they're winning, but that his team hasn't really had anything close going into the 4th quarter.
Dave, through the 5 or 6 games that they've played, they're solid in all phases of the game. And we talk about Faison, and the offense a lot. Defensively, they've been solid the entire season.
Well, you mentioned it, 22 rushes for 23 yards for the Trojans. Certainly not a good way to go. Owen Morton had a tough game. He was 0 for 9 and had 2 interceptions. So it wasn't good game for him. But Jamal Adams has certainly been a bright spot for the Trojans. When the game that I did with them against Bishop Shanahan, when they brought the lights back on, he certainly was a guy who stood out on both sides of the ball. And a lot of kudos to Jamal Adams, because when things aren't going well, Coach, it's easy to throw in the towel and just give up. But Jamal has played from the opening gun to the end whistle. And kudos to Jamal Adams for hanging in there with his team.
Very, very good comment. The easiest thing for us to do in life is quit. And sometimes they learn that in football, that little thing in life. That you don't quit when things get going bad. and Coach Fisher and that staff got those kids playing hard, just not having any success, and that hurts.
It does. And again, not only the 5 turnovers, but again, 8 penalties again, and a lot of them are those false start variety, Jim, which, has to be driving the coaching staff crazy. All right, let's go check on that Pope John Paul squad now. There's another team rated in the top 5 here at the number 3 position, 6-0. Again, I keep saying it every week till somebody knocks them off. Best start in school history. They are now 6-0, 2-0 in the Frontier Division of the Pioneer Athletic Conference. However, they did have a tussle. Evan Brisplat's guys really gave him a handful as this game went into overtime. However, Pope John Paul's experience and some of their better athletes rose to the top, Jim, and win a 34-31 game.
Well, let me begin with talking about the game itself and where it was played. It was a legacy game, St. Matthew's being one of the legacy schools for Pope John Paul. I think it's a great idea. They went down to Conshohocken, and they played, I think it was at the old A.J. Garwith Field, where we played many, many times. And as I was telling you guys before the show, when we played there, it was a nice field, but the field was slanted. In 2 of the quarters, you were running uphill horizontally. In 2 of the other quarters, you were running downhill. So you were hoping you'd get the ball a lot in those 2 quarters when you had the ball and running downhill. But PJP jumped out to a 21-0 lead. They're clicking on all cylinders. Their turnaround has been magnificent. The kids, the coaches down there have done a great job. But then let's not forget Phoenixville. They came back and made it a ball game.
Well, their quarterback, Connor Patania, had a big game, particularly in the second half, as he completed 12 of 24 for 251 yards and 3 touchdowns. They have some people on the outside. They got a kid named Zion Small. They got a kid named County. They got some kids who can play on the outside, but for some reason they have not been able to put together a solid defensive plan, Jim, as again, they're giving up way too many yards and too many points, and they get in these shootout games, and unfortunately for the Phantoms, they haven't been able to come on top yet.
But they did come back in the 4th quarter.
Yep.
They tied the game. Batania to Small, 4-yard touchdown pass with 32 seconds left to go in the game, and tied the game 28-28. Great comeback. And now we go into overtime. And you know what? I liked what Coach Graver said, or De Laurentiis said. One of those two talked about practice and how every night they practiced the scramble drill. And they got ball on the 10-yard line. They got into a scrambled situation in overtime. And De Laurentiis scrambled around, kept his options open, and hit C.J. McCafferty in the end zone and won the football game. Great game, and that's what we love to talk about.
Absolutely. It was a good game on both sides. You talk about Matt De Laurentiis, so certainly one of the better athletes and quarterbacks in this league. But A.J. Natalia, another big game with over 137 yards and 2 scores. A turning point in that ball game, Jim. You mentioned it was 21-0. Pope John Paul had a roughing the kicker play when it was 3rd or 4th and forever, and that changed the momentum and gave Phoenixville a little bit of a spark. And again, let's give Evan Brisplat and his gang a lot of credit for coming back in that ball game and making it an overtime game. But they still have not found the right side of the ledger yet, as they are 0-6. And then the third game of the Frontier Division, Upper Perk and Upper Marion, the 2 uppers going at one another. And Upper Perk, as we saw, that number 5 team in our top 5, did a good job winning that one, 35-14. They have 2-0 now in the divisional play. Again, they have a bunch of good athletes. Tyler Kaiser, the quarterback, was certainly a guy who spread the ball around. I know Coach Hans thought they had great enthusiasm and excitement at practice. Said it was the best week of practice they've had in a while, and they were very, very happy with the outcome.
Well, a lot of the names on that roster we recognized from a couple of years ago, Wary and Kaiser and people like that. They're a solid football team. When they get it going, they're going to give you problems, as they gave Upper Marion. It was 35-0 at halftime. And as Coach Hans said in the newspaper, many, many people contributed to that victory. It just wasn't the skilled guys. Those guys down in the trenches, etc., the special players, they got to do a job, which they did. And they're getting ready now for the big game against Pottsgrove on Friday night, which we'll talk about.
We'll talk about a little bit later, but certainly Tudelo is a good football player. Bo Duca had a nice game. Ryan Kendra, who's a two-way player. The skill guys did a heck of a job for them. They did a nice job of keeping Upper Marion's offense in check for most of that game, and a couple of those scores came late in that ball game. But a big win for the Indians as they continue to stay undefeated and, again, set up their divisional efforts and maybe some playoff games down the line.
You know, Dave, one thing we can say about Vic Brown and Upper Marion, he's starting 6 sophomores both ways. So
he's got a future, hopefully.
Yep.
He and Norristown's coach, Coach Powell, sort of have a similar situation there, trying to build it for the future. All right, Jim, well, let's take a quick timeout. When we come back, we're going to talk about the other side now, the Liberty Division, the bigger schools, as we continue on here on the Vallejo Stun Insurance Monday Morning Quarterback Show.
Stay tuned for more Monday Morning Quarterback right after this.
Fred Beans Ford of Boyertown is located on Route 100, just 2 miles north of Boyertown. Fred Beans Ford provides automotive sales, service, parts, and body shop all in one place. They're open 6 days a week. Fred Beans Ford in Boyertown can be reached at 800-222-0243, 800-222-0243, or online at fredbeans.com.
Doc Watson's is one of the hottest new sports bars around. Located next to Zern's Market in Boyertown, Doc's offers something for everyone. From live entertainment to countless draft beers, from great burgers to the new outside patio, from the numerous TVs to the friendly Doc service. Doc Watson's is the place to be. So stop by Doc's today for a leisurely lunch, a quick cold beer, or a great bite to eat on a nice fall night. Doc Watson's.
Welcome to the office of John H. Greismeyer Jr., where we believe in the value of relationships. We take pride in giving you the assistance you need, where that involves income tax, payroll, or financial statement preparation. Located in Boyertown, we're committed to meeting the needs of the people in our community, and our team of skilled financial professionals look forward to working with you. John H. Greismeyer Jr. Call us or visit our website now.
We're back here on set at my Pottstown High School studio, the PCTV Network Sports. Dave Ryan now again joined by Jim Mick. And Coach, let's go over to Boyertown and talk about that one a little bit. PV, who we had on the show last week. We had Rob Heist and Brendan Schimpf, and what a great kid Brendan Schimpf was, and he had another big game for the Vikings. However, this game was a lot closer than the score indicated. PV came on really late in that second half to wear down Boyertown, but 46-20, PV stays undefeated in divisional play at 2-0, 5-1 overall. Boyertown drops to 1-1.
Let's remember at halftime, though, give Boyertown a lot of credit. That game was tied 7-7 at halftime. Good, solid, defensive football game. But here again, as we got into the second half, Boyertown started turning the ball over, trying to control the clock, turn the ball over, and you know what that, when you hand the ball back to Perk Valley with that type of offense, there's going to be points put on the board.
Yeah, 3 interceptions and a fumble for 4 turnovers on the night for Boyertown. We had talked again last week and the week before about Marcus Thomas doing a nice job for the Bears as he's the third leading rusher in the area now with nearly 500 yards, but he was over 100 yards. He had 2 touchdowns. Jerry Kapp, one of the best two-way players in the league, very athletic, and he came up with some big plays. Aiden Mathias is coming along, learning that new offense you talked about, Jim, which is not an easy offense to learn.
No, it's not. Well, I'd like to go back to the other school, too, in Perk Valley. You had Brandon Schimpf and his coach on last week. Very impressed with how he handled himself and how he acquitted himself here in the studio, but he also acquits himself very well on the football field. He had 3 TDs, a critical interception. He appears to be the senior leader of that group, but I think they got a lot of senior leadership. They're a solid football team. And on the other hand, talking about Boyertown, they are getting better. And that's all you can do as a coach and a player is improve from week to week. And I think Boyertown is doing that. A credit to T.G. Miller and his staff.
Yeah, I think they're doing a heck of a job. They got everything sort of righted over there. They had little struggles and some problems and a couple hurdles to come over in the beginning of the year, but Coach Miller and his staff seem to be having that team going in the right direction. You know, many people thought this was what they call the old trap game, where PV coming off a big win over previously undefeated O&J Roberts when they shut them out, and then 2 weeks this week coming up they have Springford, their arch rival, and Boyertown sort of laid in a good position where there's a chance for maybe a little bit of an upset, but give PV and Rob Heist and his gang a lot of credit as they came on strong in that second half. And you talked about Brendan Shim. Well, I'll tell you what, he is an impressive kid.
They are the defending Pac-12 champions, and somebody's going to have to beat them to say otherwise.
Well, down at Springford, where your son, Jim Jr., is one of the defensive coaches, a defensive coordinator, calls a lot of the shots down there. Springford seems to be rounding into pretty good shape as they have another big win over the Methacton Warriors, 43-7. Methacton still struggling a little bit there. Paul Dupree and his gang trying to find a way to win one this year. But, you know, T.J. Pergine and DeFrancisco and all those kids really are playing well for the Rams.
Where do these kids get all these stats from? Too much offense. T.J. Pergine, multi-talented. He's just not a slinger. He's a runner also. He threw the ball 35 times, completed 22 for 300, almost 400 yards, and scored 3 touchdowns and rushed for 1. And then behind him is that little spark plug, DeFrancisco, Justin DeFrancisco. 8 attempts, 100 yards. 4 receptions for 71 yards, and then they throw him in the secondary on defense.
And he picks off a pass.
And he picks off a pass. Now, how much more can you ask of a kid than that?
Yeah, he's certainly becoming a two-way player, and I know Chad Brubaker doesn't like to use a lot of guys both ways. He likes the 2 platoon if he can. This year the numbers are down a little bit for him, but you got to get your best players out there, Coach, and I'm in the same philosophy of you get your best 11 out there, and Justin DeFrancisco is one of the best 11 on both sides of the ball. He's starting to develop a little bit of a partnership here with, that's Pergine, I mean, with Dante Bonatti. Bonatti with 8 big catches for 173 yards and 2 touchdowns. He has now jumped into the leading receivers role with 24 catches on the year, Jim, and that seems to be his go-to guy.
Well, they got the Angro kid, who's only a sophomore, coming along. He was injured early in the season, but in the last couple of games, he's getting more playing time, especially as a receiver, and he's showing his wares right away, and he'll be getting better as we go down the line. The thing with Springford, I think, is the improvement of the offensive line. They have improved, but as we get into the thick of the schedule, it's going to have to continue to improve.
It certainly is. Another guy to keep your eye on, Colby Goldsmith, who now has 20 catches on the year as well. And then the last game, which was Saturday afternoon, O&J went down to Norristown and shut them out 15-0 in a game that was really driven by the defenses of both teams. O&J's defense a little bit better than Norristown's as they're able to get a couple of scores and a field goal in that one. They held Norristown to 72 total yards. So Coach Kolka and his defensive side, I'm sure, are very happy. Maybe he'll need some work on offenses, a couple of interceptions for the big guy, Stewart.
Well, you said it. Actually, on the first possession, O&J drove 60 yards for a touchdown. Whoop, mostly end of the offense for the entire night.
Yeah.
They scored once in the second half. But overall, it was a good defensive game. I think Coach Powell has got to be happy with the way his defense have played. But O&J is 5-1. They can beat anybody in this league if they come to play. And they always had a good running game, And they got Stewart, who can throw the football, and he has Prowecki, who can catch the ball. So they're going to be dangerous no matter who they play.
All right. Well, we're going to take a timeout again. One more to go here with Coach Mick, and we come back. We're going to give a brief little synopsis and preview over this week's games right here on the Vallejo's Dunn Insurance Monday Morning Quarterback. Stay tuned for more right after this.
Stay tuned for more Monday Morning Quarterback right after this.
So you're officially married. Congrats! It's time to combine things. Your last names, your toothbrush holders, and your health insurance. When you combine policies, you can save and live happily ever after financially. Use the red key for more money-saving tips. Find yourself impulse buying uncontrollably? Here's a tip from Ben Franklin. Carry me in your wallet. Big bills are harder to give up. The next time you're tempted to impulse buy, you might not want to break a Benjamin. Use the red key and save.
The newly remodeled and renovated Creekside Sports Bar and Grill sits on the Landis Creek Golf Course. Featuring live entertainment and weekly specials, the Creekside offers something for everyone. Discounted beer and wing prices during all Eagles games brings a being at the game feeling. With tailgating, big screen TVs, and wearing your team colors, you can bring the fall spirit to Creekside. So stop by the Creekside Sports Bar and Grill and see all the fun things it has to offer.
Fred Beans Ford of Boyertown is located on Route 100, just 2 miles north of Boyertown. Fred Beans Ford provides automotive sales, service, parts, and body shop all in one place. They're open 6 days a week. Fred Beans Ford in Boyertown can be reached at 800-222-0243, 800-222-0243, or online at fredbeans.com.
Back in 1949, Claude A. Reinhardt founded his family business, which has served the Pottstown and Tri-County area for over 50 years, specializing in residential and commercial interior and exterior painting, paper hanging, and brick restoration. Thanks to the commitment of tradition and values, Claude A. Reinhardt Painters has once again received this year's Reader's Choice Award. So if you're thinking about having an estimate or just need some good advice, give Ron or Keith Reinhardt a call and put your painting and decorating needs in our hands.
Welcome to the office of John H. Greismeyer Jr., where we believe in the value of relationships. We take pride in giving you the assistance you need, where that involves income tax, payroll, or financial statement preparation. Located in Boyertown, we're committed to meeting the needs of the people in our community, and our team of skilled financial professionals look forward to working with you. John H. Greismeyer Jr. Call us or visit our website now.
At Vlahos Dunn Insurance, we understand what moves people in business and in life, and we use this knowledge to better serve our clients. And we bring the same work ethic and commitment to our business as our customers do theirs. Vlahos Dunn Insurance, providing quality coverage to the Tri-County area since 1994. So call our knowledgeable staff.
Hi, I'm Jim Vlahos of Vlahos Dunn Insurance, and we're in your community.
And don't forget Paul Bauer, attorney that you can count on. Give him a call. All right, Coach, this week, real quick, we got the Frontier Division first. Let's look at PJP at Upper Marion. Again, on paper, it appears that PJP would have a decided advantage. You talk about Vic Brown's gang coming on a little bit, playing a little better. Break it down.
Well, first of all, I want to congratulate PJP, an outstanding season. But I would say to the PJP people, you're only halfway through the season. You got some big games coming up. And Upper Marion is aching at the bit to get a win. Don't take them lightly. You got to come ready to play, and I'm sure Coach Craver and Coach Yerger will have those guys ready to play. But you never know, because those 6 sophomores at Upper Marion could very quickly become juniors.
Phoenixville at Pottstown now, 2 teams that have not won a game yet in the divisional play. Pottstown has a non-league win. Phoenixville at 0-6 at this point. Pottstown at 1-5. So this is a big game for these two teams, as both teams come in here. Should have good feeling. That's going to be at Grigg Memorial on Friday night. But both of these two teams should think they got a good shot to win this one Friday night.
Should be a good football game, Dave. Very good football game. I would say to Pottstown, if you're going to have a shot at winning this football game, you got to stop turning the ball over. Plus, you got to get the snap between the quarterback and the center and stop turning the ball over and going off sides and things like that. We are into the 6th or 7th game, so those things should be well gone by now. Phoenixville, Batania, and Zion Small, these two kids seem to be getting better each game. So Pottstown is going to have to be very much aware of them. Coach Breisblatt is going to have to keep preaching, which he has done. Keep playing hard, keep playing hard. Something good's going to happen.
And again, this could come down to which team plays the better defense, particularly in the second half. And then the big game that everyone is looking at in the Frontier Division, as Pottsgrove goes over to Upper Perk. It's Upper Perk's homecoming game. They're 4-2 on the season, 2-0 in the Frontier Division. Looking to take a little revenge on the Grove this week. Should be a pretty good physical game over there in Pennsburg.
Well, Coach Hans is sitting here right with us. He's not going to listen to us, but he does have a home game. And the Upper Perkiomen fans have always been rabid fans. They get a good following, a strong following. They got tough kids over there. They remember what happened last year in the first game they played. It was a rout. The second game, Upper Perk came back and played very, very well. So they're going to have to control the football, control the clock. Because if you let Pottsgrove's offense on the field too long, they're going to score. And as I said before, Pottsgrove is good in all three phases: offense, defense, special teams.
And Upper Perk certainly has athletes on both sides of the ball to match up with the Falcons' speed. All right, in the Liberty Division, Coach, O&J travels to Boyertown. I think that should be a good one. You talked about O&J. They're 5-1. They're 1-1 in divisional play. Boyertown 1-5, but still 1-1 in divisional play. Boyertown's getting better. They're learning Coach Miller's offense now, that option type style offense. So they should be ready for a good one, and they could knock off the Cats if they're not ready.
Well, I agree with you. I agree with you. Boyertown has gotten better. They have the Thomas kid. They got Cap. They got the quarterback. Matthias. They got some good athletes there, and it appears to us that they're getting better each week. O&J has had a good season, very, very good season. They're going to have to stop the turnovers and the little mistakes. But overall, I think it's going to be one heck of a football game.
All right, then we have Methacton travels to Norristown. And again, both these two teams have struggled. Norristown has won a non-league game. They knocked off Plymouth Whitemarsh at 10-9, but both of them are struggling. Coach Powell at Norristown and Coach LaPree, both of these two guys would love to get a win under their belt this weekend.
Can you imagine the anticipation, etc., at both Norristown, who has 1 win, and Methacton at 0 win, if you were those kids and your coaches? They're looking at each other and saying, we got a shot here at a win, a big win. So the motivation should be very, very strong, very, very high. And if you're a football fan, don't worry about what their records are. You will see a very, very good football game between those two schools.
Isaiah Webb, young quarterback for Norristown, keep your eye on him. And then, of course, the game that is on the PCTV Network sports station this weekend. Springford travels to Perk Valley in a game that a lot of people have been anticipating. This has been a good backyard rivalry for years and years and years. It should be another good one as they go to Coach Keenan Stadium in PV for this one. Coach, this should be a good one.
As much as I would like to see you announce that game on Friday night, I'm going to be there because it's going to be a heck of a football game. Two good teams. And you know what? The PV-Springford rivalry has just blossomed within the last 10 years or so. The schools are nice and close together. The kids know each other. And that's what all high school football is about, playing against your neighbors. What do I think the keys to the game? I think one of the keys to the game, which quarterback gets a hot hand? Pergine or Peterlin? One of those guys. Pergine is a vet. Peterlin's young, so it's going to be his first real big test. The other thing is, in all big games, it comes down to turnovers. You can't have a lot of turnovers. And the third thing, I think, is third down efficiency. If you're on offense, On third down, you got to push the change. In other words, getting another first down. If you're on defense, on third down, you got to stop them. So if you're counting anything, count efficiency on third down on both sides. Whoever wins that battle may win the game.
All right, well, it should be a good one on Friday night. A bunch of good games. Get out there and support those kids. All right, Jim, I want to thank you again for stopping by. It's always great to talk high school football with Jim Mick, the former coach and the Hall of Famer from St. Pius. We're going to take a quick time out, and we come back. We got the Player of the Week and his coach right here on the Vlahos Dunn Insurance Monday Morning Quarterback Show.
Stay tuned for more Monday Morning Quarterback right after this.
So you're officially married. Congrats! It's time to combine things. Your last names, your toothbrush holders, and your health insurance. When you combine policies, you can save and live happily ever after financially. Use the red key for more money-saving tips. Find yourself impulse buying uncontrollably? Here's a tip from Ben Franklin. Carry me in your wallet. Big bills are harder to give up. The next time you're tempted to impulse buy, you might not want to break a Benjamin. Use the red key and save.
The newly remodeled and renovated Creekside Sports Bar and Grill sits on the Landis Creek Golf Course. Featuring live entertainment and weekly specials, the Creekside offers something for everyone. Discounted beer and wing prices during all Eagles games brings a being at the game feeling. With tailgating, big screen TVs, and wearing your team colors, you can bring the fall spirit to Creekside. So stop by the Creekside Sports Bar and Grill and see all the fun things it has to offer.
Fred Beans Ford of Boyertown is located on Route 100, just 2 miles north of Boyertown. Fred Beans Ford provides automotive sales, service, parts, and body shop all in one place. They're open 6 days a week. Fred Beans Ford in Boyertown can be reached at 800-222-0243, 800-222-0243, or online at fredbeans.com.
Back in 1949, Claude A. Reinhardt founded his family business, which has served the Pottstown and Tri-County area for over 50 years, specializing in residential and commercial interior and exterior painting, paper hanging, and brick restoration. Thanks to the commitment of tradition and values, Claude A. Reinhardt Painters has once again received this year's Reader's Choice Award. So if you're thinking about having an estimate or just need some good advice, give Ron or Keith Reinhardt a call and put your painting and decorating needs in our hands.
Welcome to the office of John H. Greismeyer Jr., where we believe in the value of relationships. We take pride in giving you the assistance you need, where that involves income tax, payroll, or financial statement preparation. Located in Boyertown, we're committed to meeting the needs of the people in our community, and our team of skilled financial professionals look forward to working with you. John H. Greismeyer Jr. Call us or visit our website now.
At Vlahos Dunn Insurance, we understand what moves people in business and in life, and we use this knowledge to better serve our clients. And we bring the same work ethic and commitment to our business as our customers do theirs. Vlahos Dunn Insurance, providing quality coverage to the Tri-County area since 1994. So call our knowledgeable staff.
Hi, I'm Jim Vlahos of Vlahos Dunn Insurance, and we're in your community.
Well, we're back here on the Vlahos Dunn Insurance Monday Morning Quarterback Show. Dave Ryder. It takes us a minute or two to rearrange the set as we get our Player of the Week and his coach on set. This week we have from Upper Perkiomen, coming off a big win against Upper Mare. We have a two-way player, an offensive and defensive lineman, which is always good to see. Cole Fryer, big old number 77. And again, we want to congratulate you, Cole, on being our Player of the Week. Again, that's brought to you by the Trophy and Plaque Shack. Call Charlie Pierce and have him hook you up. And then also my guy at Complete Graphics the Ritwich boys, who also help out and contribute to that as well. And, of course, his coach, Tom Hans. In your 4th year, Tom, already. Man, the time is flying by. Guys, congratulations. Thanks for stopping by. Tom, let's talk to you a little bit as we get an opportunity to talk a little bit about last year and what you had coming in this year. Last year, you guys sort of turned it around in your 3rd season. You had a bunch of good players. You were able to get into the playoffs. You made a good run at it. So obviously you were happy with the way that season went. What kind of expectations did you have coming into 2017?
Well, you know, we returned a lot of quality skill position players, and you know, we lost a great one in Zeke Hallman, but we were able to move Tyler Kaiser to quarterback, and he's really taken to that position and done a great job for us this year. But he has a lot of help around him in Austin Tulo and Tyler Wary, and Ryan Kendra's a phenomenal receiver. And Bo Duke also doing a nice job, and Trevor Stephan is another one at tight end. So we've got good people, good skill position people.
Now, Cole, first of all, congratulations on being the player of the weekend. And I'm sure you, as a two-way player last year and a junior, got some of that valuable experience. Yep. You have the all season to work out and do your thing. What kind of things did you see happening for this squad coming into this year?
You know, I was hoping for a good. Well, we're having a good season. I mean, we've been playing together since we were in 8th grade, and with Coach Hans, he's been with us the whole way. You know, we're a cohesive unit, so, you know, coming in to the end of the offseason, we don't have to worry about the playbook and things like that. We kind of just know it already since we've been with Coach Hans forever. Okay, now in the offseason, were you able to rally the troops a little bit? And I guess everybody's on the same page there because you have been playing together for so long. Yeah. Tell us a little bit about how that went in the offseason. You know, in the offseason, it was everybody kind of bought in. 2 years ago, we started the whole CrossFit program thing, and everybody bought into that, working hard throughout the season. Then we got into mini camps, and like I said about the offense, it helped out that we already knew the plays and we could get things moving better. You know what I mean? Certainly. So, you talked about it. You had 7 returners starting on offense, 9 on defense, Tom. So, obviously, not that it makes your job any easier, but you do certainly have some skilled people and some returnees to help the younger guys and also to get everybody else moving. Yeah, absolutely. And, having a vet like Cole, he's like another coach on the field. In fact, we have a freshman left tackle lined up next to him, and he sort of tutors him as he goes along, basically. So it's a nice thing to have. Yeah. Well, again, now, how do you approach that leadership role then, Cole? Obviously, you have some of these skilled guys that everybody knows their names are in the paper all the time, but you guys in the trenches, are you sort of the leader of that offensive and defensive line game? Yeah, I try to. I mean, when I was a freshman, I kind of got thrown into the fire being, kids got hurt and I had to play, you know what I mean? So I, prided myself on learning the playbook, learning everything there is to know. So now that I'm a senior, I can, when kids have questions, teach them, what's going on and how to do things. Well, I certainly experienced it. I guess last year, your team really won some nice games and got some experience in the playoffs and stuff. How valuable was that? It was awesome. Not so awesome getting killed by Pottsgrove in the beginning of the season, but then coming in, playing them tough. We were motivated that whole week, and that carries over to this week too. Ready to play them tough again. Well, Tommy, certainly you had the transition coming from all the great successes you had on the mats over there, and heck, you and I did a lot of things together over those years, did some shows, and so now you transitioned into a football coach as well, even though you're still wrestling coaching. But tell us how that transition is. Are you feeling a lot more comfortable as every year goes on, and now you're in your 4th season? Yeah, it's such a different experience, and what's so unique about it is you have a staff. As a wrestling coach, I took a lot upon myself, and this I have to trust my assistants. Great defensive coordinator Brian Peoples, and veteran coaches like Chris Beeler and such. So those guys really help us out and make sure everybody's on the same page. Yeah, and I'm sure that you're starting to get adjusted. So you've known Coach Hans since the 8th grade. I'm sure that's a comforting feeling for the players as well. Yeah, I was just thinking about it this weekend actually. Some of the teams around the league have had different coaches, throughout their career. I wouldn't know anything different, He's been our coach forever. So you've been able to get used to him and keep him in line when he has to. Now that you're the big senior, tell us a little bit about the maturation process that your tackle is coming. You got that freshman beside you. How's that working out with you? With a freshman, you don't want to expect much. You don't really know anything about him, but he stepped in and surprised me. You know what I mean? Scrimmage, he he got told he was going to start in the scrimmage, a couple of days before, and he really stepped up, and he's stepped up ever since.
Yeah, that's pretty neat. I'm sure that's a great help to you and your line coaches as well when you have seniors like this guy that you can count on, Tom.
Yeah, absolutely. And he just inspires them, gets the intensity level up. It's really nice.
Well, let's talk a little bit about your last game. You knocked off Upper Marion at 35-14. You talked about Tyler Kaiser. He's probably the guy that really had the biggest shoes to fill, if you will. Zeke Allman was certainly a very talented high school quarterback, so he had some big shoes to fill. But, you had some other guys. You had Ware, you had Tudelo. But tell us a little bit about the maturation process at your quarterback spot.
I think Friday night was his best game. He showed a lot of poise, confidence in the offensive line. And, he's also using his feet a little bit. He's a very good athlete, and we have a lot of faith in him. That's why we put him there.
Cole, you're one of the two-way players. Tell us a little bit about your preparation for that. We talk to some guys who specialize on offense or defense a lot of times, but you are playing both sides of the line.
Yeah.
Tell me how you prepare for your games each week.
Well, Coach Hans, wrestling coach, big on the conditioning. As much as a lineman, you think I wouldn't like that, but, that's what pushes you through games, especially with us, like kids having to play both ways. That's how you get through it.
That's it. You get another guy like Ryan Kendra, who's another good two-way player at the wide-out position in safety. Certainly one of the better athletes. I guess his year has been up to par so far as well.
Yeah, absolutely. He's getting double covered out there sometimes, and fortunately we have other people we can go to as well. But his effort's been outstanding.
Well, tell me, do you prefer one side of the ball or the other, Cole, or how do you approach your offensive and defensive play?
I think of myself more of an offensive player, but wherever they put me, I'm going to have to do my job. So.
He's also an outstanding long snapper. One of the best. He's been doing it since freshman year.
Well, I tell you, that's certainly a gift to have. And there's, you look at John Dornbos for the Eagles. He had a 15-year career, and all he did was learn how to put that ball right on the spot there. That certainly could be something for you to keep working on and moving on into to the next level. Well, do you ever get carded by the other teams? You come out with this big beard and hair. Did they say you're not allowed to be 25 years old to be playing football in high school anymore? You certainly looked a part of that offensive defensive lineman.
Yeah, my parents actually before the season were like, "Aren't you afraid somebody's going to pull on it?" And actually, somebody did pull on it in the game. I was like, that kind of hurt. You might have cut it.
Well, Coach, obviously you let these guys have their own thing. There's no restrictions on that. Obviously, as a wrestling coach, there's a little bit more with all those things. But in football, you let these guys go, huh?
Absolutely. They got to have the freedom to express themselves.
Exactly right. There you go.
He looks tough.
He does look tough. He does look tough. Keeping those grades up, though, right?
Oh,
that's the big part.
That's the most important thing,
Yeah, as we said, we talked to Brendan Schimpf last week, who has a 4.6 average with all these accelerated classes and stuff. He's the president's class. And it's always great to meet these guys without their helmets on and talk to them. And certainly Cole doing a heck of a job. We have a lot of youngsters from the little leagues and the midget footballs, and they like to look up to you guys as well. All right, so you knocked them off. So you're rolling. You're 2-0. You got a couple of big games coming up, especially one this week. Let's talk about your preparation as you get ready to take on Pottsgrove. Coach Mick alluded to it a little bit earlier. Obviously, the first game that you played them in the regular season last year was a stinker for you guys, as Pottsgrove was really caught you guys on a bad night, and everything they did, turned to gold. Tommy, how do you sort of turn the tide on that this year?
Well, it's always a challenge facing Coach Pennypacker, and they have such a phenomenal offensive line, and then they got a Division I quality back. But we're going to just try to do things we do well and stay within ourselves and hopefully move the chains. Like Coach Mick said, if you give them the ball too much, they're going to run it up on you. And I think that's what happened to us that first time. A few turnovers, a few errors on special teams. If we can eliminate those, we can hopefully make it a game.
I played a lot of football too, Cole, and coached a lot of football. Did you find yourself last year maybe a little bit too excited, a little too hyped up for the game? I know I've been in that position already where you come out so fired up for a game and everything just goes wrong because you sort of forget everything about what's going on. Was that maybe a situation last year, the first time you played Pottsgrove?
Yeah, we prepared good for him that week. It just came out. I remember we had a drive. We were backed up in our own end. stuff wasn't going well for us. The offense couldn't really get anything going.
Yeah, I know. I
have games like that.
Yeah, and I remember being so tired after the first quarter because all that energy, you just lost it. And it's like, man, after in the second half, you sort of settled down a little bit. But you did have a shot at them again in the playoffs, and certainly played them a lot tougher the second time. Tom, do you remember what changed in that second game, or how did that game turn a little bit for you?
Well, again, we protected the ball a little bit more. I think we were able to mix things up. Zeke had a very fine game at throwing the ball, but we also were able to move the ball on the ground a little bit. And you got to keep them off balance because otherwise they'll thrive on you.
Well, and I think you said something that was really appropriate a little bit earlier too. They got Rick Pennypacker over there for nearly 30 years. You talked about the continuity as a coaching staff, and you talk about some of these other teams that sort of change coaches quite frequently. It's certainly always tough because they're going to be prepared for you.
Yeah, absolutely. I won't be there 30 years at Upper Perk, I can promise you that. But it's been nice. Like I said, we won some ball games with these guys who are seniors, and hopefully we can get on a run here and make something happen.
Well, it's your homecoming game.
Yeah.
Does that get everybody pumped up? Are the hallways a little bit excited this week? Has it started yet already on Monday?
We do like a Spirit Week thing, like different theme every day, what you wear to school, whatever. Yeah, it's a big deal. Homecoming game's always big.
Well, you do have going up against a couple tough linemen on both sides of the ball there. Rick Pennypacker does take a lot of pride in coaching at offensive and defensive lines. What kind of things do you have to get ready for in your offensive and defensive line play?
Yeah, defensive line, lots of double teams, but offensively, I usually go against Ephraim Hurt Ramsey. He's a good player.
Yeah,
I like going against players like that, though. It's a good challenge for you.
Yeah.
So.
And you and he about the same size, the same sort of build and quickness and stuff. Tommy, I don't want to take away your game plan or your strategy here, but what kind of things do you think that you're going to try to be able to do? Obviously, you want to try to keep them offensively off the field for a little bit.
Yeah, like I said, we're going to utilize all our skill people and just try and mix it up and keep them off balance as best we can. The key is we have to tackle well on defense as well and try to contain them. We're going to just give it our best shot.
Absolutely. Again, Cisco is another kid that they don't talk about too much, but his percentage of completion is very, very high. And, he might only throw 4 or 5 times, but he's going to complete a couple of them, and some of them for touchdowns.
Yeah, I guess everybody gets so focused on Faison that if he's able to pop a pass on you, you're going to be in trouble.
Yeah, well, Faison certainly is a quality player, and I'm sure you're going to be fired up to try to get some penetration there maybe and throw them off a little bit. So, well, I'll tell you what, guys, I appreciate you coming over. I wish you the best of luck. It should be a good one. I think I'm going to stop over at that game for a little while and see what's going on. I won't be calling any games this weekend, so I'll be a chance to run around a little bit. But I wish you all the best, Cole. Thanks for stopping by, and good luck. And again, for you, Coach. And I have a couple of things for you, Cole, here. Again, courtesy of the Complete Graphics, the Ritwedge boys down there on High Street in Pottstown. We have a little certificate identifying you as our Player of the Week there, and then we also have our little mini Heisman, which we don't, the linemen like a little guy in the dirt a little bit, but we'll give you that anyway, and you can have some fun with that with the rest of your guys. But again, Cole Fryer is our Player of the Week. Watch him, number 77, on both sides of the line, and then of course Tom Hans, his coach over there. And again, thank you guys for stopping over. All right, we're going to take a quick timeout. When we come back, we have more right here on the Vallejo Stun Insurance Monday Morning Quarterback Show.
Key Bank, the official bank of the Monday Morning Quarterback. Get to know Key, your local, responsible, award-winning bank. Brookside Country Club, where elegance and excellence are par for the course. Stay tuned for more Monday Morning Quarterback right after this.
So you're officially married. Congrats! It's time to combine things. Your last names, your toothbrush holders, and your health insurance. When you combine policies, you can save and live happily ever after financially. Use the red key for more money-saving tips. Find yourself impulse buying uncontrollably? Here's a tip from Ben Franklin. Carry me in your wallet. Big bills are harder to give up. The next time you're tempted to impulse buy, you might not want to break a Benjamin. Use the red key and save.
Doc Watson's is one of the hottest new sports bars around. Located next to Zern's Market in Boyertown, Doc's offers something for everyone. From live entertainment to countless draft beers, from great burgers to the new outside patio, from the numerous TVs to the friendly Doc service. Doc Watson's is the place to be. So stop by Doc's today for a leisurely lunch, a quick cold beer, or a great bite to eat on a nice fall night. Doc Watson's.
Established in 1916 and granted membership into the Philadelphia Golf Association in 1920, Brookside Country Club is well known for its challenging layout and true fast greens. The William Gordon design provides a challenge for golfers of all abilities. Brookside Country Club offers traditional club amenities in a family-friendly atmosphere. Brookside Country Club, where elegance and excellence are par for the course.
At Vlahos Dunn Insurance, we understand what moves people in business and in life, and we use this knowledge to better serve our clients. And we bring the same work ethic and commitment to our business as our customers do theirs. Vlahos Dunn Insurance, providing quality coverage to the Tri-County area since 1994. So call our knowledgeable staff.
Hi, I'm Jim Vlahos of Vlahos Dunn Insurance, and we're in your community.
Stay tuned for more Monday Morning
Hey, there we
Quarterback.
are. There's a dynamic duo. We're waiting for my man Joe to get organized here, and I appreciate Joe making the trek in after another hard day at the mill. But we are the dynamic duo. And again, I want to thank Denny Malloy and all the good people at Fred Beans. There we are. There's my man right there, Joe C. Missed you last week, buddy. I'm glad you're back this week, and good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you, Dave.
Yeah, well, 2 good weeks in a row as we get an opportunity to look at some of the good things that Fred Beans offers all the people over in the Boyertown, Pottstown, wherever area. as I said, it's a great time to go over there and talk to Danny Malloy at this time in the fall. Get yourself a new vehicle. All right, Joseph, let's start right in. Eagles, Eagles.
Yeah, how about
3-1, 3-1.
Yeah, they looked
Wow.
good yesterday. I'll tell you. We talked a couple weeks ago. I wasn't here last week, but we were talking about the run game, and all of a sudden now the run game is up and running. No pun intended.
You must have been thinking that the whole way down.
It was. But what I liked about it was the way LeGarrette Blount was running, like angry. He was running angry, and then the offensive line. You just saw the offensive line kind of just feed off of that, and they just dominated.
Yeah,
and even Jason Kelsey looked good yesterday.
He looked better, and
I know.
And I'm waiting for you to give me credit, but I've been saying Wisniewski now for 2 years, and they finally inserted him in that left guard position, even though he is still rotating with Chance Warmack. He is getting 60 to 70% of the snaps, and Warmack's getting the rest of them. But he looked very, very good yesterday, and he helped open some holes. Had a major pancake block on Smallwood's 3-yard touchdown run there in the second half. But I think Wisniewski has really helped to stabilize that line. I think he's actually made Kelsey a little bit better, has freed him up on some things, because he's not really a good man-on-man guy, but he's a good move blocker. Kelsey certainly did have a good game yesterday.
Right, Kelsey can get out in space, but you actually saw him moving him side to side there, and it was nice to see that. It was nice to see, especially with 6 minutes and 44 seconds to go in the game. You kind of hope that they could put it away, and they did. And the difference.
That's that 4-minute offense they call it.
Yeah, but the difference now is, I think, the mentality that they have in the locker room is now not hoping that they could do it. Now it's feeling that they can
yeah,
do
absolutely.
it.
But again, I think that all three running backs showed yesterday a little bit, and I guess Doug Peterson, according to his press conferences today, he likes using all three of them in a variety of different ways. I think Corey Clement has showed as a free agent, undrafted rookie, that he certainly deserves to be on that team. Smallwood, again, I'm still not sold on 100%. I still think he gets a little jittery and fumbles, plus gets hurt quite a bit. But LeGarrette Blount certainly showed why he scored 18 touchdowns last year for the New England Patriots, and he is a beast. And a little bit better runner than I think a lot of people thought he was.
Yeah, you know what? You see him out in the open space a little bit when he was running down the sideline, and I was kind of taken back by his speed. But what really caught me was
boom, boom.
He straight on the one guy. He came back and they hit him again. And he just dropped him. That was
a
great.
rookie,
that was
Desmond King, the rookie out of Iowa.
Yeah, that was
it
great.
was. It was good, and of course, we all like Carson Wentz, and we hope his maturation process continues. I'm about ready to fire number 82. They don't need him. He's last year's Aguilar. All he does is run and get open and then drops the football. Torrey Smith is running out of time with me. He's had more drops than he has had catches this year.
He had a catch yesterday on a third down.
Yeah, but he still drops the ball too much.
In that 6 minute, 4 minute.
But the last couple of weeks
he caught a third down
balls.
pass. Yeah, but when he needed to make the catch, he made the catch. You gotta give him some time. Some guys I feel are a little slower than. Don't say it. But a little slower to pick up the offense.
Well, the thing of it, but there's got to be a reason for a guy who has all that talent to be on his third team in the last 4 years, though, Joe. You don't, if I don't care if you can run as fast as Usain Bolt. If you can't catch the football, that stretching the field doesn't really work much, and that's why I'm a little down on him. He's in my doghouse, just to nitpick a little bit. Ertz had a decent game again. Like I said, I was happy with the game. It was certainly one of those trap games that they could have fallen apart on.
Traveling out there,
traveling.
West Coast.
Obviously the fans had a big role in it, and listening to all the players, they enjoyed the fact that they took over that stadium.
Did you hear
out there.
Dick Stockton?
No, I didn't.
Dick Stockton said, I don't ever, and Dick Stockton's been doing it for a long time.
Yeah.
He goes, I don't ever remember being in an away stadium and it feeling like a home game for the team that traveled there. That was pretty neat.
That was certainly a pretty good job. And the defense now, I think is starting to really round into shape, even though Fletcher Cox did not play. I still think Tim Jernigan is the key to that defense, and those other guys played well around him. Bo Allen had his first career sack. So that was a pretty cool thing as well. But again, a big win for the Eagles, especially on a day when the Cowboys and the Giants both lose.
I'll tell you that Rams-Cowboy game, that was a really good game. And you want to talk about the number one draft, the pick in the draft, Jared Goff, and what Sean McVay has done for him in that Rams offense. And you want to see the maturity that he's showing. And then, with the running game with Gurley, and then they add Sammy Watkins into the mix, and they have Krupp, who's a rookie. And you look at the similarities between the Eagles offense and the Rams offense, and then they scored 35 points on Dallas.
Well, it's Dallas, and again, I'm not going to pat myself on the back, but I say this too: Dallas has a much better shot to win and play better defense when Sean Lee is on the field. Sean Lee was hurt again yesterday, missed the game, and he is the best or the most underrated player in the NFL. He makes tackles from sideline to sideline. He calls all the defenses, and when he's not on the field, the Cowboys are very, very vulnerable, and it showed again yesterday. But again, a big win for the Rams. And the Giants, again, they have a lot of problems going on up in New York.
What do you think's going on in there?
Well, I'll be honest with you, and I know a lot of people don't like to hear this, but I think Odell Beckham and his antics and all that stuff are a distraction. They really are. And, when you're sort of a cancer in the locker room and the people are more worried about trying to calm you down on the sidelines than looking at the charts and getting their offensive adjustments and things, it just takes away from your game. And he's probably one of the top 5 talented guys in that league as far as pure natural talent, speed, hands, everything. However, he is just a knucklehead, and he does knucklehead stuff. And I loved listening to Dick Vermeil the other day. He was the one that first came out and said, he said, I don't think I'd even want him on my team.
Right.
And that says a lot. When you have that much talent, and a guy like Vermeil, because he said, what would you have done to him if that would have happened? He said, that would have never happened because I would have nipped it in the bud or he would have been gone. Right. So that's a pretty cool thing. All right, well, let's take a quick timeout, Joe. We'll let you get a chance to settle in here. We'll get our agendas all squared away. We've had a lot of fun. It was great meeting Cole Fryer, the player of the week from Upper Perkiomen, and, of course, his coach, Tommy Hans, who I've known for many, many years, and, of course, Coach Mick a little bit earlier. But we're going to take a quick timeout, just a short one, and then we'll be back. We have our game balls. We have our by-the-number segments to do as well. I'm Dave Ridenauer. He's Joe C. We are the dynamic duo right here on the Vallejo Stone Insurance Monday Morning Quarterback Show.
Stay tuned for more Monday Morning Quarterback right after this.
At Vallejo Stone Insurance, we understand what moves people in business and in life, and we use this knowledge to better serve our clients. And we bring the same work ethic and commitment to our business as our customers do theirs. Vallejo Stone Insurance, providing quality coverage to the Tri-County area since 1994. So call our knowledgeable staff.
Hi, I'm Jim Vlahos of Vlahos Stone Insurance, and we're in your community.
So you're officially married. Congrats! It's time to combine things. Your last names, your toothbrush holders, and your health insurance. When you combine policies, you can save and live happily ever after financially. Use the red key for more money-saving tips. Find yourself impulse buying uncontrollably? Here's a tip from Ben Franklin. Carry me in your wallet. Big bills are harder to give up. The next time you're tempted to impulse buy, you might not want to break a Benjamin. Use the red key and save.
Back in 1949, Claude A. Reinhardt founded his family business, which has served the Pottstown and Tri-County area for over 50 years, specializing in residential and commercial interior and exterior painting, paper hanging, and brick restoration. Thanks to the commitment of tradition and values, Claude A. Reinhardt Painters has once again received this year's Reader's Choice Award. So if you're thinking about having an estimate or just need some good advice, give Ron or Keith Reinhardt a call and put your painting and decorating needs in our hands.
The newly remodeled and renovated Creekside Sports Bar and Grill sits on the Landis Creek Golf Course. Featuring live entertainment and weekly specials, the Creekside offers something for everyone. Discounted beer and wing prices during all Eagles games brings a being at the game feeling. With tailgating, big screen TVs, and wearing your team colors, you can bring the fall spirit to Creekside. So stop by the Creekside Sports Bar and Grill and see all the fun things it has to offer.
And I want to thank Mike Crater again at Mike's Brick Oven Pizza for sending over a great little appetizers and snacks for us here on the show. My man Cole Fryer was digging in. But again, stop over there at East and Charlotte Street there, right on the corner. Mike's Brick Oven Pizza. You can't beat it. I'll tell you, right there at 601 North Charlotte. It's on the corner right at the light. They have great food. They have specials every day. Those were the Mercury Awards they won in 16. I'm sure they won some more in 17 as well. But they just do a great job, from pizzas to strombolis to spaghettis to whatever. So stop in there and tell them the Monday Morning Quarterback sent you. But Joseph, let's look at by the numbers. That's my good friend John Griesmer. Jack Griesmer, as I've known him my whole life. He is my accountant and financial guy. He does a heck of a job. He's located over there in Boyertown, right next to Seville's Diner. So if you need anybody to help you out, he does. A lot of our guys, a lot of our sponsors go to him as well. What do you have? Anything on by the numbers this week for us, buddy?
I'm looking at the young rookie from the Jets, Elijah McGuire. Did you see him? He had 10 carries for 93 yards and a long touchdown. He's
fast.
He's quick.
Man, is he fast?
He's quick.
Yeah.
And he caught my eye. And then you're looking at another rookie. We were talking about the Giants off air. Paul Perkins isn't doing it, and Shane Vereen's not really doing it. So now they have Wayne Gallman in. He's from Clemson.
Yeah,
he was in the backfield with Deshaun Watson, and he looked pretty good yesterday too.
I thought the young kid from Seattle looked pretty good, but I think he got hurt yesterday, and he might be out for. Yeah, he might. I think he might have gotten hurt, but he was a guy who came in there and was really doing a heck of a job. But it's amazing how these gems are getting found now in the later rounds or undrafted that are filling in, and as the running game is becoming more and more dominant here in the NFL, Joe.
Yes, I mean, you look at Dalvin Cook. You look at he's
out for the season.
Is he out for the season? I didn't
ACL job, yeah.
Really, and then you see just on a cut with no contact. Yeah. And then you look at Carr. Yeah. And he got kneed in the back. He got kneed in the back pretty good. I didn't realize he had a fracture. So he's down for a little while too. Yeah. But you know what? There's plenty of good running backs in the league, and these young kids are really coming up and showing what they got.
Talk about the league, and tonight obviously is Monday night, and we always precede the Monday night football game, which we'll talk a little bit about later on. But my good friend, listen to this, Joe, my good friend James Coleman is officiating tonight's game in Kansas City.
Oh, okay.
Look for him. He wears number 95. He's a back judge, so he's in the secondary area. So when the other team, when passing the ball, and they're, he has like the inbounds plays and the pass interferences and things. So if you see my man James Coleman out there wearing number 95, give him a little thumbs up. Actually, he's going to be on the show next week, so I'm looking forward to talking about him again. All right, let's go to our game ball, Joseph. I'm going to go first this week.
Go ahead.
Normally I let you get a shot there, but there's my good buddy Paul Strauss, taking care of one of his customers, 943 North Hanover Street. That's my guy right there, Paul Strauss. Been cutting my hair for a lot of years. He's been an original sponsor here on the show, and I don't know where I'd be without you, Paul. I appreciate your longevity and support over the years. It's funny, I thought you were reading my notes again when you started talking about Sean McVay and the Rams and all that stuff, because I'm giving my game ball to Sean McVay, the head coach of the Rams.
Oh, that's what stood out to me yesterday.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you talk about, see, that's what I when people want to poo-poo coaching and, it's not, they're all pros and blah, blah, blah. No, let me tell you what, coaching is very, very valuable, particularly at the professional level, And Sean McVay, one of the young guys They have him on there. He's a cool dude. They love him out there, but he's got a sharp offensive mind, and he is whipping Jared Goff, and you mentioned Sammy Watkins and Todd Gurley and those guys into shape, and that offense is clicking. I'm giving my game ball to first-year coach for the Los Angeles Rams, Sean McVay.
And you know what? They have 100. They lead the league with points. They scored 142 points. So
they got more than New England.
Yeah, good. Yeah. I'm going to give my game ball to Deshaun Watson. 4 passing TDs yesterday, 1 rushing TD. But what is really impressing me is his field presence and his maturity. So fast, on the scene there. He just came right in, and he's elusive. And it looked like actually Clemson was playing like Tennessee State yesterday. And last night I saw he gets the call from Dion on prime time. And he said to him, I see you out there after the game, taking your jersey off, signing your jersey, give it. He goes, you see Tom Brady doing that? And Deshaun Watson's like, no. He goes, you see Drew Brees doing that? Deshaun Watson goes, no. He goes, how about Aaron Rodgers? You see him doing that? And he's like, nah. He goes, and Dion goes, don't do that.
See?
He goes, don't do that.
What did I tell you about Kelsey and his brother?
Yes. He goes, you said it.
I did say it.
I laughed because I thought of you. He said, you don't need to do that. He goes, they don't do it, and they're the best. You don't do it.
Right.
And he's like,
well, I said, during this whole draft process, you know how I love the draft, and I follow, and I think Mel Kiper has done an unbelievable job. He has almost single-handedly put the draft as the second biggest thing in the NFL behind the Super Bowl anymore.
Right.
I mean, it's on for 3 days. It's on prime time and the whole bit. But, anybody who can beat Alabama and look as good as he did against them, even in defeat, Deshaun Watson obviously has played some big games. You knew he was going to be a good player. I can't say that I knew he was going to be good the first year or he was going to do what he wanted. I mean, he still throws some interceptions. He still makes some funky decisions, but he certainly has the DNA, if you will, to be a heck of a football player in this league.
Absolutely, and you know what? O'Brien finally got his quarterback. They've had how many quarterbacks over there? He finally got his quarterback, and I think he's going to be successful for a long time.
Okay. Well, let's take our last time out here. I got my Big Frank's question for you. I got our 5-pack picks to talk about as well. But let's do our last break here real quick, and then we'll get down to business here in the last couple of minutes of the show. He's Joe C. I'm Dave Ridenauer. We are the dynamic duo. We'll be right back with the Vlahos Dunn Insurance Monday Morning Quarterback Show.
Key Bank, the official bank of the Monday Morning Quarterback. Get to know Key, your local, responsible, award-winning bank. Brookside Country Club, where elegance and excellence are par for the course.
And I want to thank all those great sponsors that I've had. I talked about Paul Strauss in the styling room, but all those sponsors I've had over years, and of course Key Bank and some of the new ones again this year, Brookside Country Club as well. All right, let me ask you my Big Frank question of the week real quickly. I'll give you a couple minutes to think of this. I'm going to throw you a big curveball here. There's our buddy. Remember that night? That was such a fun night. It was a Monday night. Michael Vick went crazy against the Skins and threw the ball all over the place. That's our buddy in the middle there. And I want to thank his son, Ronnie, the proprietor of Clean Cut, for keeping his legacy alive on this show, as he was just a great guy and a big part of our show. Freddie Galvis. Okay, I'm going baseball. I'm going baseball on you. Here we go. Here we go. All right, here we go.
All right.
Freddie Galvis became the 15th player in franchise history of the Phillies to play in all 162 games this year.
Wow.
Who was the last Philly to do that? I'm going to let you think about that for a minute. Freddie Galvis played in 162 games this year. He is the 15th guy in Phillies history to do it. I'm asking you, who was the last guy to play in all 162 games? And I'll give you a couple seconds to think about it.
Give me a hint.
No.
Infielder or outfielder?
No, I'm not giving you a hint.
Give me a hint.
Come on. You know, see, you're the kind of guy that wants a trophy for everybody, too. You want everybody to get a trophy.
A participation trophy.
Yeah.
Come on.
I will give you a hint in a minute. Infielder. Infielder. Okay?
All right. That throws out who I was thinking.
Stop.
All right.
Okay, I'll give you a couple seconds.
All right, okay.
Figure
Thanks.
that out.
Well, thanks. Seconds is good. Thanks. You're
but
such
you know,
a nice guy.
I wanted to, we talked about, Dalvin Cook is going to be out for the season, running back, a guy who the Eagles really had a lot of interest in. I also heard today that Mitchell Trubisky will be starting this week for the Chicago Bears.
He should be after the way Mike Glennon played on Thursday night. He should be. So that's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
That is good.
Yeah, but that Dalvin Cook, that upsets me.
Yeah, I know. And again, I said to you off air, a lot of those, a very high percentage of those season-ending injuries are those non-contact jobs. You put your foot in the ground a certain way and you'll get twisted or whatever. And boy,
why do you think Dalvin Cook's injury upsets me? He's on my fantasy team.
See, that's you know what? I don't want anybody to get hurt, but I can care less about your fantasy football.
Come on,
hey, that was even. I even heard one of the players even say when they asked him why they thought the ratings were down, because he said everybody's watching the red zone because they don't care about our teams or our games anymore. All they care about is their fantasy team.
And I agree
100%.
That's absolutely true.
That's why they ought to throw every fantasy team and league right out of this.
Because yesterday I was watching the red zone. And then I was watching the President's Cup.
See? There you go.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it's true.
All right. Hey, well, let's get into our 5-pack picks real quick. Last week, I got spanked around by my son. Christopher was 4-1, and I was 2-3. And I want to thank Izzy's on Third for sponsoring our 5-pack picks this year. Get over there. It's a great little sports bar on 3rd Street and Philadelphia Avenue, I guess it is, in Boyertown.
Nice.
Get over there and see Kurt and the gang. It's a lot of fun. We were over there the other day, last Saturday, as a matter of fact, helped to celebrate a birthday.
I like
it's a nice
that.
spot.
But I like that. Izzy's on third.
Yeah,
like
Izzy's on third. Yeah, that's it. There you go.
Very nice.
All right, here we go.
All right, go ahead.
Washington at Kansas City tonight.
I'm going to take KC.
Whoa, are you really?
Yeah, I'm taking KC, the home team. They're a 7-point favorite. I'm taking KC.
I'm going to take Washington. This should go opposite of you because I think Washington has something to play for now because of Dallas getting beat. Okay. Although I think Kansas City probably will win this game. Here's a funny one for us. 2 0-4 teams, the Chargers and the Giants. Somebody's got to win one. So it's the Chargers at New York.
It's at New York.
Correct.
Yeah, I did not like Rivers' little antics there.
Yeah, I didn't either.
I'm going to take the Giants.
Okay. You know, I'm going to go with Eli, too. I think that the Chargers are going to be a little jet-lagged coming all the way across here and a little upset from getting spanked around by our Eagles. Here's a game that's all of a sudden pretty good. You got 2 3-1 teams. Carolina and your boy Cam Newton traveling to Detroit and Matthew Stafford. Both teams are at 3-1. Yes.
I'm going to take Detroit. I'm taking Detroit.
I am, too. I can't root for Carolina, even though I love their linebacking play. Kuechly and Davis is really good too, but I have a hard time rooting for Cam, old Cam boy. Here's an interesting game. You talked about a couple of those quarterbacks. Green Bay travels to Dallas now. Dallas at 2-2. Green Bay at 3-1. Aaron Rodgers looks like he's on point. They have had a couple injuries, but Green Bay travels to Dallas this weekend.
I wonder how. Do you hear anything on Devontae Adams?
Yeah, he's okay.
He's okay, right? He just got shook up a little bit.
Mm-hmm. He's out. Yep, correct.
And it's going to be at Dallas.
Correct.
Right? I'm going to take Green Bay.
I am too. It upsets me that you're. You know what's wrong with you? All of a sudden you're getting.
Well, hey.
And then the last game is Arizona at Philadelphia.
You're going to take the Eagles.
Oh, I certainly am. You can have Arizona.
No, I'm going to take the Eagles.
All right.
Carson Palmer looks like he's done.
Well, we only have one game. It's different this week. So
yeah, it's just going to be the Monday night game. And you've been good on Monday nights. I have been. Been lousy.
And again, I didn't want to beat you up in your absence last week, but the week before that you were too.
Manny Trio.
Manny Trio is your answer?
Yes.
Good answer, but not correct. Not correct.
All right.
Wait till you hear this. Ryan Howard, 2008.
Wow.
Played in every single
game.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is
amazing.
That is amazing.
In 2008, he played in all 162 games.
Wow.
I thought you would say Utley. Utley would have been. That would have been my. When I heard it, I thought of Utley right away.
Utley, but I was thinking more like Manny Trio.
Well, yeah, Trio was good
in that genre.
He played a lot of games every year, and I don't remember him getting hurt any significant
time. He used to
time.
throw the ball like under.
Oh, I love that guy. He had a whip and a half.
Let's talk about the Phillies a little bit, if you don't mind.
We got 1 minute.
We got
to go.
1 minute.
Yeah.
I like their team now.
I do too.
I like all tier.
I would
like all tier.
I do too.
I like Hoskins, obviously.
I do too.
I'm okay with Hernandez and Galvis. Crawford's at third. He made a couple nice plays. Yeah. But you know what? They need two pitchers. They need two starting pitchers. Yeah. I like Pivetta and I like Nola. I like Pivetta
better than I do.
I like Pivetta.
I like Nola. Yeah. But I'm not sure about everybody else.
Two pitchers, but no retreads. They need to find.
Well, they're going to go out there and try to get another guy like. Who was the guy they had in the beginning of the year that went to Baltimore? That guy. They're going to try to get him again, and I don't want him.
Yeah.
I bring some young kids up or whatever.
The kid from Boston, he played at Boston too.
Yeah.
Buchholz.
No, not him.
Taylor Buchholz.
No, not him. There's another guy.
Okay.
He was our number one. He started opening day.
Oh, yeah.
I can't even think of his name. That's how.
Hendrickson.
No, it's not that, but it's something like
Hellickson.
that.
Hellickson. I'm sorry.
Jeremy Hellickson.
Jeremy Hellickson.
Yeah. I don't want him. I don't want him. I don't want him.
No, you don't need somebody like that. You need a stud.
All right. Well, we got to go.
Right.
Hey,
go Eagles.
Yeah, go Eagles. And again, next Thursday night, we got a Thursday night special. We'll be at Doc's Irish Pub on Swamp Pike in Gilbertsville. Thursday night, we'll be live. We're going to have a pep rally before the Eagles and the Panthers. We're going to have a great time. Stop on over. We got some guests coming over. A lot of surprises happening that night as well. Don't forget, next Thursday, a Thursday night special for the Vallejo Stun Insurance Monday Morning Quarterback. He's Joe C. I'm Dave Ryanair. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.